Good morning, you and audience. I want to welcome you to this great platform from my pen, sponsored by 810 Studios Network in the great city of Clinton, North Carolina. Come on, join with us, listen in to this wonderful dialogue. We have a wonderful young adult man that's going to join us this morning and share with us some excerpts from his book and from excerpts from his life. We are glad to have Mr. Marcus Solomon. Hi, Marcus.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you? You doing
I'm
good?
good. Good, doing
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's good to have you here. We're going to fellowship, we're going to talk, we're going to love on one another, and we're going to share. First of all, let's get at it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us a little bit about you?
Okay. So my name is Marcus Solomon. I am the youngest of five. I am currently a senior in college. I am majoring in counseling and human services with
Okay.
a minor in English. I love to write. I love to listen to music, and I'm more of a homebody, so I like to stay home as much as I can. But I
Okay.
like, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Okay. What college are you attending?
I go to Pfeiffer University.
Okay. That's in Charlotte?
It's actually in Meisenheimer, North Carolina.
Where is that, Marcus?
It's 45 minutes from Charlotte, so it's like
Okay.
in between Salisbury and Albemarle.
Okay. All right. You enjoying yourself with that? You're making
Yeah.
great grades. You're going to graduate. Is it summa cum laude or something like that? You're going to come up out of there and you're going to offer so much to the world, right?
Hopefully, prayerfully, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What inspired you to write a book in the first place? Where does this inspiration come from?
Honestly, I would say my mom.
Okay.
After seeing my mom write her first book, um, and watching her go through everything that came with that,
Right.
experiencing, depression, anxiety, um, from losing both of her parents,
Mm,
watching her experience trauma and those things that me myself was experiencing while going, while writing myself. I was able to look at her and watch her, and she was able to support me as well,
okay.
in writing because honestly, we had 7 months to write.
Ooh.
I started writing in December. I
Okay.
wrote the first paragraph of my book, and I did not write anything else until the day it was due. I couldn't write. I couldn't write. It was so hard to actually open up and um, write about what actually happened to me because I had never really told the full story.
Okay.
Writing it all down in one day. I stayed out of class. I cried and I typed. I cried and I typed. And my mom was there throughout the whole process. But
Okay.
watching her go through everything that I was experiencing and watching her go through that emotional fall and go through, watching her see those steps to build and to grow and to become who she is now.
Mhm.
Because she's not just the visionary author of this book, but watching her become a better mother,
Mhm.
her become a better wife, her become a better person in general. Um, in spite of what happened with her parents passing away 12 and a half hours apart, that in itself was inspiring to me. If my mom can go through everything that she's went through, and me as a child watching her go through all that and experience all that, I can do this. And of
Yeah.
course, she introduced the book to me. I didn't want to do it at first. I was like, there's no way I can do this. There's no way. But then after a while and her talking to me, she was like, no, you can do this. And she was there every step of the way. So definitely my mom. My mom is my biggest inspiration.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Marcus. Do you mind sharing this much of what you went through? Just a touch. You don't have to expound on a lot, but just to share with the audience. And I believe that if you do that, it's continual deliverance for you and for me and for our audience, just a tad bit.
Yes, ma'am. So I wrote a book. It is titled Four M's: Muted Molestation That Manifested Mentally. My
Hmm.
chapter in the book is titled No More Closed Doors. And No More Closed Doors is basically just telling my story of childhood molestation. I experienced childhood molestation from two male cousins and another male friend for 12 years from the age of 4 until 16. So I basically wrote a book explaining not everything that happened, but what happened, and honestly, the trauma and the damage that came afterwards. So,
Yeah. Oh, Marcus, that is very deep and very serious. It's not a joke. Um, it's not a whoops, like I feel sorry for you. Actually, that I never experienced anything like that. But for you to share that tidbit of your life and what you went through, I have to uplift you, uplift your heart and your spirit and your mind to continue to be a strong young adult. Because by you sharing that, I promise you that it is not for naught. Somebody's listening, somebody is taking it in, and they're going, I can't believe it. I've gone through the same thing. I'm going through the same thing, and I may go through it again, but I thank you for doing that. And I
Yes,
know it took courage, strength, and fortitude for you to share just that little bit. Okay, Marcus.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're strong. I have to give you that, and I pray that you take in from Miss Dorcas that you are a strong young man.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, sir. What books do you like to read? What, prior to you even becoming an author, and I do consider you an author and an artist, what books do you like to read?
I love mystery books. I love the thrill. When I read a book, I love to put myself into the character's shoes. I like to try to figure out what's going to happen next.
Yes,
So I
yes.
love the thrill of mystery books. But on top of that, I love mental health and wellness books as well.
Got you.
I'm very big on tending to your spirit, making sure that your inner man is doing well as well. Because if you're not doing well on the inside, you can't go out and produce anything. You can't go
Yeah.
out and your full authentic self to anybody else if your inner man is not well. So I do try to read some mental health books, making sure that myself am in a good spot.
That's good, because in this epoch of time, mental health has ignited more so than ever before in our culture.
Right.
Mental health, not just amongst one race of people, but mental health has been open. The door has been open
Right.
for mental health for all races, all ages, even children. So stick with that. Stick with the mental health books, writings, attention, speeches, whatever God lays on your heart to do to help someone that is mentally off balance, whether it's in a marriage, a wife, a husband,
Right.
drug addiction, sexual addiction, food, whatever the
Right.
addiction may be. Stick with that, because
Right.
it is so needed
Mhm.
right now. And
Right.
even before you get your degree, go ahead and operate in encouraging those who suffer from this awful illness
Right.
that has almost taken over
Right.
everywhere.
Mhm.
Do you consider yourself creative? How do you even, where do you get your creativity from? I know we talked about inspiration,
Mhm.
but what about creativity?
So first, creativity for me, I love to draw. I used to draw a lot in
I
school.
love it when people say they love to draw. I love it. Go ahead.
I was in a couple competitions. I won honorable mention a couple times. So I like to draw actually in black and white. I don't like to draw in color.
I understand that. Okay.
But for me, drawing was my first part of creativity. I like to create what I felt inside, what I was
Yeah.
going through. That's what I like to draw. Um, I would consider myself creative. I feel like to write a book,
Mhm.
um, especially as deep as this one is, I
Yeah.
feel like it takes a level of creativity that takes proper planning, proper management, um, and honestly, a strong well-being to create something like this.
Okay.
Because it can take a toll on you. Like I said, I couldn't write. One day is what I was able to give, and that
Mhm.
it drained me. I had to take more days afterwards just to recover from that one day of pouring out. So writing now is like it's very creative because you have to go inside and you have to really create um, something that people are going to want to read.
Mhm.
It's not telling the story, but it's grasping your audience's attention and it's making sure that they are staying attentive and staying aware without the whole book. So yeah.
Mhm. You just said a lot. You really did. And I'm taking it in for me. I'm not just saying, oh, the studio audience. I'm really taking that in for me. When I want to grab a hold of piggyback on pouring out your writings, what you have experienced. And what you did was you regurgitated in writing what you've been through and what you're going through. Not going through. I mean, you got a deliverance, so I'm not gonna say what you're going through. You're gonna. I heard someone say this morning that your past is your past, but it is your past, but you don't forget. And your past is your ministry to let others know you can do this.
Right.
You can go through this. God got your back. And then sometimes it's like, okay, got my back. And sometimes it's hard to grasp that.
Right.
Sometimes we believe it and sometimes we don't because we're still in the situation. But I like the way you said things were poured out. And I believe that God was downloading in your heart, mind, and soul what to write.
Right.
You were already an author.
Mm-hmm.
You just had to put it on paper.
Right.
You were already an artist. And this is considering, or when I'm talking about artists, I mean an artist in many areas of your life. But I want to bring back this. I'm going to send you a picture of me. I want you to draw it. Okay. Then I'm going to put it up in my bedroom in black and white.
All right.
We got a deal?
Got a deal.
Okay. I love it. I love it. What do you enjoy the most about connecting with people, with your readers? What do you want them to get from you? How do you like connecting? Do you enjoy connecting with people? Do you know what I'm saying? Connecting.
So when it comes down to connecting, I love to connect with people, especially like-minded people.
Yeah.
People who have gone through what I've experienced or
Yes.
through certain things, and it may not be the sexual molestation part of it. It could just be the mental health aspect of it. It could be the anxiety, the depression, the suicidal thoughts that came from it. The doubting yourself. It can come from that. What I love about it the most with connecting with people is not only being able to share my story, but being able to be that person that they can open up to say, I went through this too. Because I've had a lot of people from the book itself say, not even my mom knows, you're the first person, or only my mom knows, or I never would have thought that you experience this because you carry yourself so well. That in itself for me says a lot because my prayer has always been, Lord, if I can touch one person, I feel like I've done my job.
Yeah.
If I can, help one person stop themselves from jumping off the ledge, whatever that may be, I feel like my job. I feel like I've done my part. And so having those people come back and connecting with those people and still having conversations after the initial conversation with the book, being able to stay connected with those people and see how they progress and see how well they're doing after the fact and getting through it. That in itself for me is what I love the most. Being able to say, okay, Lord, I feel like I did what I was supposed to do. I feel like I said what I was supposed to say.
Mm-hmm. I'm connecting with you right now, like I said before. However, I'm going to get the book because I want to continue to connect with you. Your first book, and then when you do your second, third, fourth, and fifth book, I will continue to connect with you. You know what, Marcus? I see you writing a fiction book. I see that. And then you drawing the characters for the book. I can see that just as clear as a bell. What do you think about that idea?
It's honestly crazy that you say that because I honestly have this wonderful idea. I want to write a children's book. I want to write a series of children's book. Okay. Honestly, and I kind of want it to be about my childhood, going through the aspect of growing up in a small town community, being a Black man.
Okay.
The struggles of what you see in small town communities like that, growing up, not having as much, growing up less than. So I want to kind of write books about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll get those two. I'll be looking forward to those two, and we're going to have you back. Not just waiting on the other books, but I would like to have you back even the more to talk about this book and you sharing your life. How do you handle? This is a big one because I have to ask myself this too. How do you handle negativity and downright nastiness, negative feelings, people judging you? How do you handle that?
I'm not gonna say that I don't handle it. Like I may see it, I may hear it. But I think my biggest thing is trying to stay focused on what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's crazy because I just had a conversation with my mom last night about something like this. And I was like, Mom, now that I'm a young adult, I have to realize that I'm not what I went through. I'm not what people say about me. I'm not what
Mm-hmm.
somebody has a certain feeling or something, something like that. That's them. That's not a reflection of me. Um,
Right.
and so I was basically telling her that now that I'm a young adult, I have to stay focused on what I'm supposed to be doing and
Right.
helping people, sharing my story, going places and talking to people and uplifting people. If that's what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's what I want to stay focused on. I don't care about the negative. I don't care about what they say or what they do because that's what they do. They're going to do that.
My pastor says a lot that people that do that, they're assigned to do it. That's their assignment, okay? And what we have to do as the believer is to, you know what, Marcus, we take kind of listen to the negativity and
Hmm.
the nastiness, and we take it and we grow from it.
Yeah,
Actually, you can say what you please.
right,
You're gonna talk. I know you're gonna talk. I know you're gonna gossip. Go right ahead because I'm
right,
taking from what you're talking about and grow even the more because you're not going to stomp me in the ground. You're
right.
not going to throw me in the ditch. All you did was ignite in me
Mhm.
the fire that I have. That's all you did. Do you
Right.
agree with me on
I
that?
absolutely 100% agree. Yes.
Yeah. That's right. All you did was you ignited it. Let me read this to you, Marcus. I read a book recently to not let bad self-image keep you from fulfilling your goals in life. In other words, um, let's see. Let me reword it. Bad self-image. The image, and you've already kind of went through with this. The image that you may put in yourself that's not so good. How do you handle bad self-image versus good self-image? Low self-esteem versus I got it going on.
Right. Um, Honestly, when we talk about bad self-image, we have
Hmm.
to take into consideration everything that comes upon that because it's a large umbrella. Um,
Yeah,
it
I
can be
agree.
it can be not feeling like yourself, not enjoying the way you look. It can be a mental aspect of it, not being able to believe in yourself, not
Yeah.
being able to stay focused on what it is that you really want to do, things of that nature. How I deal with it, or how kind of explaining it honestly, um, my support system, I would say number one is God. I
Yes.
have to say that. Number one is God. Without God, I have nothing.
Yeah.
And knowing that I am made in His image, and knowing that I can do all things, in itself speaks volumes. In
Yes.
itself will speak to whatever it is that I'm going through, whatever mental battle I'm experiencing, and it will literally lift that up in itself. Um, but sometimes we have to go to other things, and God gives us those people, God gives us those outlets that we need sometimes. So my support system, my family, my friends, it's small, but I can go to them, and whatever it is that I'm experiencing, or whatever it is that I'm feeling, if it is negative self image or bad self image, they're like, did you forget who you were? Did you forget where you came from? They're
Right.
able to remind me of who I used to be and
Hmm.
where I came from, and how hard it was to get where I am now. And so they're kind of able to turn my thinking, because a lot of times you only can think negatively at that time. They're able to turn that negative thing into positive thinking. And whenever they do that, I'm able to say, you know what, wait, I actually did come a long way. Because when I do think about it, from writing the book to before writing the book is only one part of my story.
Hmm.
It doesn't talk about the very beginning. It doesn't talk about being premature and only being carried for 5 months and things of that nature. So having my support system there, having my people there, and having God Himself there is
Hmm.
really how I'm able to get through that. Yeah.
That's great. Self-worth. That's what we have to acquire, and that's what we have to maintain. Like you said, God first, because He will give us and strengthen our self worth. Because, like you said, we can do all things through Christ who gives us the strength to even do it. And we go to Him first in prayer, like, is this what you really want me to do? And He'll say yes. And it's markets is one of the hardest things that's probably going through in your life. And that's what He says yes to. So as a young lady back in the day, my self-esteem was very low. I was a teenage mom, and I didn't know who in the world I was, where I was going, what I was going to do. But as time progressed and as time went on, my mother, like you said, my mother was my strength and my strong tower, and she pushed me along the way because as a teenage mom, I thought that was the end of the story.
Right.
I thought that's it. I'm gonna work at a factory, which factories are great, and I'm just gonna be stuck in Clinton, North Carolina for the rest of my life. But I like it. I'm liking talking to you. You're really strengthening the 67-year-old woman. There's still some things I go through that I have to maintain. I have to get up out of it, out of the muck and miry clay. Then I have to maintain it. So I appreciate your thoughts and your words that you're saying to this old lady this morning, that I have to maintain the strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength. And I love it. I'm just loving talking to you on this morning. You rock, you rock, you rock. Okay. So with that said, what advice do you want to leave to our viewing audience today about inspiration? And I just got through talking about myself. And so what advice would you like to share with young adults about moving on? Get to your goals. Don't leave behind your goals. You might, that might be they may be started for a little while, but don't forget what you wanted to do when you graduate from high school. I want to do this when I grow up. So, what advice would you give and share with a young adult that's struggling to even move?
Right. First, I would say be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
Gentle with yourself, because a lot of times we go through a lot. We go
Yes.
through a lot, and we don't know how to get through those things. We don't know exactly which outlet to take. We are really figuring it out one day at a time. We can have the best parents, we can have the greatest role model, but everybody's experience is different. So be gentle with yourself. Um,
Okay.
we try to rush the process a lot. For me myself, I'm only 22, and I can say I have tried to rush the process. I have tried to. Uh, I'm like, I feel like I'm stuck because, oh, I'm not here. I'm not where I thought I would be. But I'm like, but you're only 22, and you're doing a lot better than what you expected. You're doing better than where you used to be. So I have to remind myself of that. So be gentle with yourself, and honestly, pray about it. Once you pray
Okay.
about it, have faith that it's going to
Mhm.
work, and
Mhm.
then do the work, because
Mhm.
faith that works is dead. You can have faith all day and all night, but if you don't put in the work, you're not going to see anything. So put in the work. And one thing about it, you are going to fail, but the
Mhm.
only way to success is by failing,
Mhm.
because you learn from that. You learn from it not working the first time, or it not working the
Mhm.
second, or not working the third time. And yes, you may get discouraged, but you can't stay there. You have to get up and choose and remember why you started in the first place. That's my biggest thing. Remembering why did I write the book? Why did I do this? Why did I start? And so that in itself should be your main driving goal when you feel like, okay, I don't know what to do. Why did I start? What was it that made me want to really do this, and stick to that. Pray on it, have faith on it, pray over your works, pray over what you're
Mhm.
doing, and
Mhm.
you're going to be successful. I
Mhm.
promise. Yeah.
Okay, you still talking to me. I mean, I love that. One of my grandsons years ago, he was a bowler. He played basketball,
Mhm.
and he admitted, he wanted to go pro, and that hasn't happened. And he said one time, and he said, "Look, I know I got to put in the work. If I don't put in the work, if I don't show my skills like I should, if I don't grasp for what I really want those to come to fruition, then they probably won't. So we have to put in the work. We got to do what we're supposed to do, called to do.
Right.
Um, Writing a book, drawing, whatever God calls us to do, and
Right.
even our talents and our gifts,
Mhm.
we have to put in the work that whatever we're doing is required. The book is not going to write itself.
Right.
the computer is, the automatic computers are not going to, and they may exist. They're not going to write for you. We have to write, come to our minds, take what's in our minds and our hearts and put it on paper,
Right.
put it in the computer, contact a publishing company.
Right.
It's hard to get a book printed. Oh my goodness. So that's part of the work that we have to put in. You think
Right.
so, Marcus, a publisher and all of that? What in the world? What avenue did you take to get your book published?
So with my book, thankfully it is a collaboration book. So it's 5 authors in one book. Um,
Okay.
but with my mom being the visionary author, I was able to kind of see the technical side of getting it published and how that works. And also, as authors in the book, we also had, meetings with our publisher. Our publisher reached out to us. She made sure we were okay. Um,
Okay.
but basically, once we started, we found a publisher. Um, my mom basically gave her the idea of what she wanted, how she wanted to start, and our publisher gave it. She pretty much was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is how it works. She basically laid the foundation for us. Very clear, very plain. I can say this was a lot easier than I would have expected. Um,
Okay.
and actually, even with my second book that I'm working on, I'm using the same publisher. So now that I'm doing it on my own and it's not a collaborative
Hmm.
book, I'm still getting to see now, okay, you have payments and you have to do things this way and you have deadlines. And so it's like
Hmm.
easy as it looks because, throughout the whole process, you have a deadline you want the book to be out by, you have to have the book done in a certain amount of time way before the book comes out so it can be edited, it can be sent back, you can make the revision
Wow.
of that nature. So it's not a hard process, but it is timely and it takes some mental stability. Um,
Okay.
because like I said, it's not easy writing a book. It's not easy taking everything that's in your heart, in your mind, and putting it on paper. But I can say finding a good publisher that works with you, that is able to listen to what you want, able to listen to your needs, and then able to attend to that is definitely the best route to go. My publisher has made this the easiest process it could have ever been.
Okay. All right. Where can we get your book? Where can we connect with you to purchase your book so that we can really get this in our hearts? What you've been through, how you're no longer a victim but a victor. I'm gonna get the book. However, where can the audience get it from?
So you can find it at my website. It is marcus-solomon.com.
Mm,
My last name is spelled with the all O's, no A's, just to clarify. You can
okay.
also private message me through my social media and get a book that way as well.
Okay. Okay.
It's
You
also on Amazon, so you can go to Amazon.
all right.
It's
Okay.
in Books a Million,
Hmm.
um, and it's in Barnes and Nobles. But you have to order through their website, and then it'll be shipped to the store.
You better go. You better go with your book's location. That is the bomb. I love it. Marcus, thank you for joining in with us this morning. I enjoyed you tremendously. I have a new young adult friend. Um, I can go ahead and say that I love you dearly.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
hardly know you, but I love you dearly with the love of Christ. You, like I said, you rock, you're the bomb. And I was so glad that you came to share with us this morning. I believe that there will be deliverance, freedom for those who joined us on this morning. Thank you again. God bless you. I'll talk to you soon, okay? God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
God bless y'all.
Have a great rest of the day, okay?
Yes, ma'am. You too.
All right. All right.